3 years old, so I was born in '89. I grew up in the '90s, and there were really great things about the '90s, and also some things that were just kind of like, what in the world is this about? And I'll tell you guys something, there are some things worth arguing about, and some things are not worth arguing about. And it just amazes me still to this day, and anybody can relate to this, no matter how old you get, it'll never cease to amaze you how far anybody is willing to go to argue about the stupidest thing possible. And this is one of those things that was absolutely stupid that everybody liked to argue about. Well, almost everybody. This is one of those things that almost everybody liked to argue about in the 90s. And that is the fact that Kellogg's Apple Jacks does not taste like apples. And if there's any of you that still eat that cereal, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm telling you, there actually were kids that were outraged by the fact that Apple Jacks do not taste like actual apples. And so these commercials I'm about to show you, they are completely legit when it comes to being concerned about them not tasting like apples.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Denise.
Call me stupid, but if they named it Applejack, shouldn't it taste like, well, apple?
Stupid. That isn't why it tastes so good.
Well then, know-it-alls. Why? They just do.
Yeah. Kellogg's Applejacks is part of this complete breakfast.
I thought you boys were gonna work on the garage.
Dad, we're resting. Yeah.
And eating those Apple Jacks, I see.
Hey, what's wrong with you kids? They don't taste like apples. That isn't why we like them. Then why?
I know. You just do.
Yeah. Kellogg's Applejack cereal is part of this complete breakfast.
These are so good.
And their official cereal, Apple Jacks.
He doesn't get it.
I don't get why you'd like a cereal called Apple Jacks that doesn't taste like apple.
Well, we know why.
Yeah. Okay, geniuses. Why? Good answer.
Your brother's such a loser. We don't have to explain why we like it.
Yeah.
That's not fake, people. There were some kids that were actually outraged by the fact that they don't taste like apples. And I remember there actually was a couple of times whenever, sometimes us kids, aside from our lunch, sometimes we actually like bringing cereal with us. At least when it came to my group of friends. And we all loved Apple Jacks. There were different kinds of brands of cereals that we loved, but we loved Apple Jacks. And one kid actually was concerned about that. I mean, he was really, really frustrated about it. And I'm like, dude, calm down. I mean, okay, so they don't taste like actual apples. I mean, so what? Shut up. Like, okay, so it doesn't taste like apples. Big deal. Okay, Lucky Charms don't taste like charms. Okay, should they taste like a charm bracelet? Should we ban those too? And a lot of the times, just like a lot of people, when they don't have an argument, they just say, you're stupid, shut up! So I decided to do some ridiculous research on this stupid topic and actually find out, why did Apple Jacks not taste like apples? Let's find out, shall we? Here's what I found on mashed.com. The untold truth about Apple Jacks. This could even be fake, I mean, who knows, but at least we know. First, let's go over the brief history about Kellogg's Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks was created by William Thilley, a former Kellogg's intern who is currently a professor of genetics, toxicology, and biological engineering at MIT. And it all started with an experiment gone wrong. Back in 1965, Kellogg's was working on developing a new snack when somebody neglected to connect the cable to a machine that produced cheese liquid, leading to a high-pressure cheese explosion that covered the entire research area. The diligent intern that he was, Thilley worked after hours to steam the cheese off the research equipment, and Kellogg's was grateful. They doubled my pay, put me on my own, and said, "What would you like to create?" Thilley told Extra Crispy. Raised on a farm, Thilley's mind immediately turned to apples. When a co-worker showed Thilley some O's from a discontinued Kellogg's brand, the idea for Apple Jacks was born. First we tried dry applesauce, but the cereal stuck together and sank to the bottom of the bowl, Thilley said. At the end of the day, the secret of the Apple Jacks recipe turned out to be a combination of the discontinued O's, a dried apple product sold in California at the time, and cinnamon. And here we go, the moment of truth. Despite its name and the initial focus on apples, Apple Jacks taste nothing like the sweet and tart fruit. In fact, the brand doesn't even seem to pretend that the breakfast cereal should taste anything like apples. A case in point is a 2000s advertising campaign that proudly proclaimed Apple Jacks doesn't taste anything like apples, because the taste of sweet cinnamon is the winner, mon. And one of the brand's most recent inventions, Frosted Flakes and Apple Jacks, follow the no apple taste trend. The cereal is simply a mashup of the two breakfast treats. Since Apple Jacks doesn't taste like apples, many consumers have been asking the obvious question, does the cereal actually contain apples? It turns out, Apple Jacks does contain apples, although they appear on the product's ingredients list below sugar, salt, and flour. According to the label, Apple Jacks contains an undetermined quantity of dried apples and apple juice concentrate. So there we go, the doubt no longer has to kill you or anybody that grew up in the 90s. If you thought that was a very stupid thing to be concerned about in the 90s, wait till you see my next episode. Keep it metal!